Growing up, I could hold my own on a shred sled, but I wasn't an amazing skater. But I somehow managed to get a full pager in Thrasher, a full page interview in Big Brother, and my initials are EMB. So I was destined to be a skater. That's why when I started seeing articles and videos titled, "Is skateboarding dead? Is skateboarding dying? Is the industry hurting?" it really hit me in the feels, and I decided I need to look into this. Welcome to the channel, The Beige Carpet, where we talk about jobs, rent, cost, and cope, and how life's got you in a rope-a-dope. So the last time I actually had a real skate session was 2011. It was at Stoner Park with Nate Sherwood and the Marx Brothers from Birdhouse fame. And even C-Rob came over and blessed us with a P-Flip Manny. Now, I've kept my ear to the streets. I go to the usual, Gifted Hater, 9 Club, Jeff DeCesare's IG. I really do my best to stay educated on, the tricks and everything that's going down. But I realize it's hard to figure out how well the industry's doing because all the big players are making skate shoes. Skechers, Adidas, Nike, New Balance, Converse, Asics, etc. So do you have to figure out, does that constitute the skate industry, those sales? Now that skateboarding's in the Olympics, does every piece of apparel that has the 5 rings on it, is that considered skate gear? Is that contribute to the skate industry? What about video games and energy drinks? Now, maybe you can isolate hard goods and look at deck sales. For example, like this chart right here. This is Grandview Research. They're showing $3.8 billion in sales currently, and it's going to go up to $4.6 billion in 2033. But you can see there at the bottom, they include street boards, cruiser boards, long boards, and electric boards. Like longboards, that's not a part of the skate industry. That's a part of the longboard industry, right? I mean, those big old everybody skates boards, those count. You can do a front crook on those. But honestly, I want to know about grip tape sales and bushings and, how many tubes of shoe goo were sold. Okay? That's what I want to know. So like I said, it's really difficult to try and figure out the health of the skate industry. Now, anecdotally, you can tell just from listening that most pro skaters' salaries are way down. And a lot of that is there's just so much dilution, so many skaters that are amazing, so many companies, a lot of different reasons. You also have to assume that the skate industry is getting curb stomped by tariffs. There's a lot of product made in the U.S., but there's also made in China or made abroad. And then sometimes there's parts within the parts that are made in China. So you're getting hit with those tariffs. And then private equity, they like to roll them up, load them up, roll them up, then load them up with debt, and then cut them loose. We saw, DC Quicksilver's parent company, Liberated, that owned and ran all the retail shops. They cut 1,000 jobs and closed all the retail stores. The average consumer's wallet's emptier than a skate park in the Midwest in January. Just don't have the discretionary funds to be buying the fun stuff, the new pro model shoe or some fancy high-tech grip tape. That's just a reality right now. With the 2008 crash, pro salaries got gutted and skate shops look like a ghost town. And I feel like heading into 2026, it could be coming again even harder. The hit could even be harder going into 2026 here. Numbers-wise, supposedly there's 9 million skaters in the U.S. and then about another 10 to 50 million worldwide. But that's just lipstick on a pig. We're seeing the squeeze and companies going under. So now, if the skate industry is dying, I want to do my part to resuscitate it. This is what I've done and am doing to support the industry. I bought this Frankie Hill, Jeremy Ray collab deck. I bought this Edge-A-Skate deck. I bought this Jerry Fowler Toy Machine dog poop shirt. I bought this original one back in 94, and then I bought the re-release in 2024. I bought this big-ass Seabo Walker painting. I subscribed to Willie Santos's Curb Wars on YouTube. And lastly, I bought a pair of Asics running shoes. Does that count? The only numbers that really matter, as long as there's people like you and me going out there, buying decks, buying trucks, buying bearings. The skate industry is not going to be a victim of the recession. It's going to be winning. Now, what we've seen this week with the release of Chris Joslin's El Toro footage, the tray flip down El Toro, is that skaters can completely dominate the internet, just entirely take over social media. And we saw something similar earlier this year when Ricky Glazer set the world record for longest grind while wearing shorts. Something similar happened. But this is powerful. You just need to be able to harness that into sales, right? There should have been a link in that Chris Joslin footy to buy his Plan B board or to get some Lakai shoes. Maybe there was. So if this video made you feel nostalgic or mad or just want to go out and push around, hit that like button and then do a pressure flip right onto that subscribe button. And I'll appreciate that. Peace. Check you later. Bye-bye.